Good morning, the honorable judges, adjudicates, my fellow teammates, and the opposing team. Let me introduce myself. My name is Jeryyan Jofito-Round. I'm from Kusma Bangsa Senior High School, Palembang. So today I'll be acting as the Prime Minister on the affirmative team, and today's motions that we will be discussing is that this House believes that scholarship should only be granted on the basis of financial necessity. The motion today is related to the fact that Indonesia is a country where not everyone can afford a school tuition. It will be my pleasure as the first speakers to defend today's motions in order to make things clear for both sides. So scholarship. I bet you have ever heard of scholarships, right? Because it's something that's uncommon in the society world. So from what I've concluded, scholarship is an amount of money given by school, college, university, or other organizations to pay for the studies of a person with a great ability but little money. This is in a form of encouraging for those who were talented but didn't have financial support to help them develop themselves to be more useful persons in this country. We think that the scholarships better be granted for those who are in need and those with lesser financial status rather than giving them to the one who already has stable financial status. So for the lesser financial status, what we meant by that is for someone that couldn't afford school tuition, either on a lower level or on higher ones. This could stop them from realizing their talents to observe more. We see it of how many human resources that have been wasted already, which every one of them could be useful in the future days. The next one, stable financials. What I mean by here is that stable financial is a condition where someone has a financial ability to afford school tuitions from low grades to high grades and even finish the education. So today I will deliver 3 arguments before I end my speech. But before I deliver my arguments, I'd like to tell you that our second speakers will explain our arguments in advance. And he also will deliver 3 more arguments to strengthen our motion, which he will explain later on. Our third speakers will summarize our team's arguments and summarize the opponents to leave no doubt on why our houses believe that scholarships should be granted on the basis of financial necessity. Okay, now let's break this into 3 things. First, the one who has a stable and fine financial status can afford it by themselves. What we meant by that is that the fact that Indonesia is a country where not everyone can afford school tuitions as easy. It will be a better options, though, for those who doesn't lack of financial status to develop their skills by affording it by themselves. From the data that I've earned from BPS, quoted that in March 2019 there were 25.14% of people that has the amount of 1.9 million rupiahs income per month, which is equivalent to 1 per 4 people in Indonesia that has that amount of income. Because from what I have read, that only to finish kindergarten you need approximately 11 million rupiah in total, and to finish primary schools you need 33 million. To finish junior high school you need 38.500 million, and to finish senior high school you need 44.500 million, and to finish university you need 55 million, which everything totals to 187.500 million, which not everyone can afford to finish education only. So our ministers of research and technology and higher educations quoted that he wanted every scholarships to be delivered for those who are in need and not for those who have a stable financial status. And even our minister encouraged that we should give them to those who are in need. So my second argument is that there will be a lot more talent to discover if there were more chances for the lesser financial status to earn scholarships. Because if we only look up for the one who has a stable financial status, who will look for the ones that who has lesser financial status if it weren't discovered or seen by public? There will be a lot of more opportunities to be seen if there were chances of getting scholarships. For example, Dahlan Iskan. Maybe some of you have ever heard of him. He's right now placed as head of state electricity enterprise in Indonesia. You might think that his background is good or he has a fine financial status, But in fact, his life when he was little is pretty frightening and isn't going good for him. His background is from a poor family that he couldn't even afford shoes to go to school. And moreover, because of the lack of financial status, he had to drop out of school because he doesn't have money, despite doing a great job in school. What we're trying to say here is that the fact that if he were to receive scholarships, we reckon that he will even become a greater person, same as everybody. And as we reckon to see here that a lot of people with low financial status has talents and skills, like not only the one who has a great financial status has skills. And for instance, Jeryyan, the founder of Jofito-Round, he didn't came from a great family. And what about Taiwan and Bob Sadino? Neither of them came from a great family and other public figures. So that just proves us that not only the people with high financial status has some skills and power. Okay, so in my third arguments, we don't have free schools in everyone in Indonesia, which means that not everyone can receive affordable education. In Indonesia, there were a whopping amount of 5 million people that doesn't go to school. That shows how many people are in need of an education. We reckon that it would be better to look at the scholarships for who in need rather than the one who has. Because with these chances, the poor could reach for a higher education in order to increase their family social status. Also, it could develop a higher quality people that will be useful for the country. And we'll say that this could be a way to reduce poverty in Indonesia, with a number of 10% people below the poverty. Not only the social status of the family that will be risen, but the family income will become greater, and this way it could reduce the number of social gap in Indonesia, and it could bring a fortune to the family. It shows how this allocation is in the form of scholarships will bring a lot of benefits to our country, to each individuals and to each family. So, by the arguments that we have delivered, that's why we believe that scholarship should be granted on the basis of financial necessity.